What it is, Daniacs. This is my very first ever live stream. Uh, this is Brooklyn Lou. He invited me to interview me about my theology. He noticed that I was saying some different shit from most theists, and he was like, "What's up with that, bro?" So, um, I'm going to just let it play for the most part. I won't talk over too much. And speaking of talking over, watching it back, I realized I was talking over Lou a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, brother. It wasn't intentional. The earphones I had was the first time ever using them. I could barely hear. There's like a little static from it on the recording. Like I said, my first live stream. I'll work on that for sure. Didn't mean to talk over you, brother. So let's roll with it. I'm gonna go to full screen here.
Faith at all. Right? I'm establishing this channel just to get my voice out there, and I started that after the election. So anyway, my guest is here, and I'm looking forward to a friendly conversation. I'll let you in right now, Dark Light. Hey, how are you?
What's up, Lou? How's it going, man?
All right. I looking forward to chatting with you.
Yeah, hey, thanks for reaching out, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think you might know I'm an atheist, so
yes,
I don't believe in any gods.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you because you seem to have a different take on spirituality and a different take on religion than most of the people I encounter. Right? So I wanted you to be able to explain it for yourself.
Yep.
And I hope you don't mind if I ask questions, if I have any questions that come up. All right. Wanted to ask you if you ever had any religious background prior to your current understanding.
Yeah, I was raised pagan, like neo-Wiccan, pretty much, by my mom. And it's funny, when I was a kid, every time we drove by a church, my mom would say, "You yucky church," and that's how I was raised. So,
now what, for some of us like myself, I'm not that familiar with Wiccan, but what basically is that?
Wiccan is pretty much just like modern paganism, pretty much. Like when people say paganism, they're usually referring to like old school Norse gods and stuff. And Wiccan is more of like a New Age American type thing. And we were like, really, my mom encouraged us to study everything. It's not like we were stuffed in any one little box or anything. So that's how I was raised. And for a long time, I claimed spiritual. And I started thinking about it a couple years ago, and I'm like, I really don't like that term spiritual because it's too open-ended. And I started to think, and more specifically, I'm a non-Abrahamic true monotheist. I believe in the construct of the one true creator, but I do not capitulate to the broken theology of Abraham whatsoever. And real quick, what makes the theology of Abraham broken is that they incessantly try to interject division and disunity into the unity of creation. And they do that by propping up constructs such as sin and evil. So if the one true creator is a perfect creator and he created everything, then sin and evil are impossible. I believe in mistakes and bad, which is a totally different perspective than sin and evil.
Right. Well, I think sin does have a religious connotation, right? Like, mistakes are mistakes. Doing something bad is bad, but I do think sin is looking at the Abrahamic religions and using their terminology.
Well, I call the followers of Abraham a blood cult of sin worshippers.
Now, when did you come to believe what you do now? Was there any transitions that happened in your life, or is it just picking up from, how you were brought
just
up.
kind of like an accumulative perception, pretty much, from my whole life. Kind of like a slow burn to get to where I am. It's not like I had one thing or anything, but and all perception is an evolution, you know.
So, if you don't mind, explain what it is you do believe, because obviously I don't encounter too many people like you. I encounter almost everyone I encounter on my channel seems to be either atheist or Christian. You know, all right. So,
well, I haven't encountered many people like me either. I'm on an island on my own, bro.
yeah, well, that's what I was figuring. It's something different. Now,
Yeah.
I don't discount anybody's beliefs, okay? So I don't mind, hearing something new. That's one of the reasons I wanted you to come on.
No, and I appreciate that, man.
To hear
Thank you.
something different, all right? But you feel you have some insight that you want to share, right? That must be something burning in you, in some way, that you want to share something you might have learned, that
Well,
maybe
it's funny that you say the word burning, because I refer to myself as the burning ember, or the true burner. And that term in particular came about from some mushroom trips.
You do psychedelics?
Yes, sir. And actually, it's been fairly proven that most religions came from people experimenting with entheogens. And so like I've mentioned before to atheists, that I have gotten a lot of my insights from psychedelics, and they automatically dismiss that as, oh, well, you can't be serious. That's not real. So we're just going to skip right over that. But actually, if you look back at history, most religions came from the use of entheogens in one form or another.
Now, do you happen to smoke pot?
Oh, I've been a pothead since I was 13, bro.
Okay, I'm a pothead for about maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
But I started very old.
I was allowed to smoke weed when I was 13. I was allowed to trip on shrooms and acid when I was 14. My mom took us, me and my brother, it was like a mini Woodstock they had down in Florida every year called Livestock. She took us there every single year from the time I was 15.
Was that
my mom was cool as shit.
Was that over in the Tallahassee area?
A Livestock, it was in Zephyr Hills, Florida.
Zephyr Hills, okay.
Yep,
I've never been to Zephyr Hills. But was that on the same side of Florida as Tallahassee? Or is that the...
Tallahassee's up around the Panhandle, ain't it?
Yes.
Okay, so no, it was a little bit more in Central Florida.
And it was like a rock show, stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, it's a 3-day camp-out concert. All the best bands in the world would play, and for 3 days straight. And then you would go out and have a big old tailgate party before you even got in for the night before. There was a line miles long waiting just to get into this thing.
Yeah, I would like that.
Oh, man, it was awesome.
That's the type of thing I like. But, so anyway, share what it is you believe about God.
Yes, sir. I wrote some notes down.
You say you're monotheistic, so it means you believe in a God, a single God, right?
Yes, sir. We'll check it out, though. I have a unique perspective on that. Okay, can I go through my notes a little bit?
Sure.
It might. Attributes of the God I perceive is hyperunity and balance within creation, consciousness, dark and light. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, what's the name of your perceived God? And I will say that there is no name to adequately describe the actual one true creator. So anyone trying to say that there is a name, they just name something that can't possibly be the one true creator. And I recently called into the atheist experience and told them that, and they're like, well, you're calling it something, you're calling it the one true creator, and that's the name. I'm like, no, that's not a name. That was that's a label, because the Jews will say, okay, the name for our God is Yahweh or Hashem, or they have the ineffable name, but it's specific names. The Christians will say and this is a point I wanted to touch on. Okay, Christians say all the time, we worship the God of David, but check it out. No, the fuck they don't, because what the Christians did was they made a divergent Yahweh and called it Jesus and made it in the image that they wanted. So anytime a Christian tells you that we worship the God of Israel and David, you stop them right in their tracks and be like, actually, that's a totally different Yahweh, because the Jewish Yahweh is not Jesus. The Christian Yahweh is Jesus. So that they like to pretend that it's the same thing, but it's not.
Well, I don't.
And then you have the Muslims that say their God's name is Allah. So I say that the one true Creator owns every word and every name ever spoken. So every word and every name is His name.
All right. So
personally, you cannot proclaim a name without separating it from every other name in existence.
Right. And personally, I don't think a God necessarily has to have a name. Right? So that's not, like, for me, a God can have any name or no name at all.
But that's kind of a sticking point for followers of Abraham. That they're like super all about, no, it has to be this name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that makes, your position is different than that. But your God certainly must have some sort of attribute, right? Or,
yes, sir. The attributes would be the unity, the consciousness, the dark, and the light.
Is your God personal to you?
Meaning what?
Like, is it a person or no?
No.
Okay, so
it is
talk to you, right?
Well, like I said, I believe that every word ever spoken is the word of God. So from my belief, as you speak, you are okay. From my belief, we are all God, because we are all a quanta of God. We are all an extension of God. If the one true Creator is a perfect creator, then every creation that he produces is a perfect creation. Which is a part of how you can prove that the gods proposed by the followers of Abraham is not the one true Creator.
Now, did you get some of these ideas from other traditions? Like what you're saying kind of aligns itself, just what I'm hearing, with some of the Eastern mystical type of concepts.
Well, I make my own Kool-Aid. I drink my own Kool-Aid. I do me. I'm a fool for my own folly. I do not capitulate to anyone else's theology. I make up my own shit, and I'm cool with that. Check it out. Hold on. I got some stuff wrote down right here. It's going to be hilarious for you. Okay, I wrote down a list of what separates me from most theists, and I admit that all perceived divinity is imaginary friends for adults. All words, names ever spoken are the words and names of God. All morality and truth is subjective, where they can only take place in the consciousness of a mind, which inherently makes morality and truth relative to the mind. I don't believe in sin and evil, only mistakes and bad. We are all God, if God is a perfect creator. I believe in reincarnation, which I believe the law of conservation of energy supports. I believe God is living through every moment of our lives, which, we were all an extension of God. And if you believe in two separate kingdoms, light versus dark, which is the Christians and the Muslims, then you are not a true monotheist, okay? It is what I believe. I think a lot of the Christians claiming monotheism are not actually monotheistic. I think that the closest to monotheism still to this day is the Judaism, the Jew beliefs.
All right, now, given all that, all right, you've thought through these things, and you have some semblance of a system, right? There's some belief there, so you can it's almost as though you're creating your own belief system. I mean, would you see that?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Okay, now, as you do that, do you have a personal agenda? I mean, are you trying to recruit people into your belief system?
No, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care who agrees with me or disagrees with me or anything. My biggest agenda, and even voicing my opinion, is, for one, to let followers of Abraham know that they do not own the construct of the one true creator. That's my biggest agenda. I'm trying to show people that there are other ways to perceive the one true creator, which isn't dominated by the tyranny of the broken Abrahamic theology.
Well, you have someone like me, I can kind of go along with that, because there's some commonality there, right?
Yeah. I hang out with atheists and pagans, like the damn show. Is that where you saw me this morning in the chat?
I don't remember, but it could be.
Yeah. But yeah, I hang out at the damn show every morning in their chat. I'm the token theist out there, and why? There's a lot of theists that come and go, but I'm in there almost every day if I'm not working. And people ask, why are you the token theist in here? It's like, because I'm not trying to convert no one. I love hanging out with atheists because I don't have to try to convince them of anything. But as soon as a follower of Abraham pops in there and starts spouting their shit, like it's a reaction, I just go at it. Because check it out, here I got another page all about this right here. Okay, the blood cult of sin worshippers, dogma commanding murder of unbelievers, and this is for the Jews and Christians. We got Deuteronomy 17:12 right here, and check this out. I hate reading scripture. I hate it. It feels like washing my mouth out with a bag full of dicks. Okay, but here we go. Anyone arrogant enough to reject the verdict of the judge or of the priest who represents Yahweh must be put to death. Exodus 22:19. Whoever sacrifices to any god except Yahweh shall be doomed, killed. Oh, sorry, I got my fan club right here.
Okay.
Okay, and then number 2 Chronicles 15:12-13. Everyone who would not seek Yahweh was to be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. And then over here in Islam, we have Surah at Taba 29-39. Fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, nor comply with what Allah and his messenger has forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth from among those who were given the scripture until they pay the tax, willingly submitting, fully humbled. So those are just some scriptures that they all cling to in their books that demand the murder of anyone that does not capitulate to the broken theology, which is what makes them a blood cult.
Well, I think you're probably aware, as someone who is an atheist, I don't have any problem with any of that.
Yeah.
I kind of see those religions as doing that. So we have
I'm not trying to convince anyone.
We have some agreement.
Yeah. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I called up to the atheist experience the other night, and they freaked out when I told them I'm not trying to convince them. It's like I'm just trying to express my ideas. I don't care whether I convince you of them or not. I'm just trying to have like a conversation. And
that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I like to keep it civil and non-argumentative if I can.
Yeah.
But I do like to push back because, like when I'm talking to you, one of the things that comes to my mind is, what your agenda may or may not be. Like, are you maybe looking to write a book or, put this all in a formal place where people can access it?
Yeah, I am working on a book. Actually, if you look right here, this is a bunch of stuff I have wrote so far. So yeah, I am working on a book, but that's okay. My agenda, like I said, is just to display that followers of Abraham don't own the one true creator, that there's other ways of perceiving the one true creator. And also, okay, I just want to ask you real quick, under your perception, to you, what is the difference between a theist and an atheist?
I think that an theist is someone who does believe in a God, and I think that would be a supernatural God. And an atheist, like myself, is someone who does not believe in any supernatural gods. So that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
I don't believe in the term supernatural, and I don't believe anything is supernatural. If it happens, it's natural. Just because someone might not be able to explain it doesn't mean it's supernatural. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're on the same page there too.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the supernatural as well.
Yeah. No, I don't either. And okay, so to me, the difference between a theist and an atheist is theists prefer to live in a magical world, one way or another, somehow or some way. An atheist prefers to live in a non-magical world. That's my perception of it.
Now, right here, a lot of people would say, oh, well, isn't supernatural and magical the same thing? And they can be conflated into the same thing, but not necessarily. And everyone has their own definitions of every word. And my definition of magical is just everything in existence is magic to me, especially in the real magic is in the mind.
And I can go along with that. That's how I live. I don't live in a supernatural world. All right. Yeah. I live in a very natural world. And that might go back for you, maybe. Might go back to the Wiccan from way back, right? Because Wiccan is not something that is supernatural, is it? Because I'm not familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah. There's definitely what some might consider supernatural elements to Wiccanism and stuff. Yeah, for sure. But see, I don't really like the words because I don't believe in supernatural either. But I believe in magic. But my definition of magic is different from most people's. And isn't that funny how everyone has their own perception and definitions of everything? To me, that is a clue. Because I think our perception in our minds, because your thoughts, your beliefs create your thoughts create your actions create your reality. We all do create our own worlds. If you don't like the world you're living in right now, you can take actionable steps right away and start changing things, and you will slowly and surely be building yourself a whole nother world.
Well, let me just ask you about that. All right. When you say build yourself another world, are you basically talking about perceptions? Or are you perception. Talking about something physical?
Well, your perception can lead to something physical. Like for me personally, I used to be super depressed and suicidal for most of my life, and I changed my world and made it into something that I can love and want to live in. And I did that for myself. No one else did it for me, and I did it through the power of my mind. And
well, we also agree right there. I believe that the mind has power, right? And again, it's all definitions. What kind of power are you speaking about? But I do think the mind is incredibly powerful when it comes to changing. The mind can change your reality, but it changes your reality in a way where your perceptions and beliefs lead you to act differently.
Yes.
And when it does that, then it comes into the natural world, right?
Yes.
Because
all reaction comes from action. You must have the original action to create the reaction.
But the actual thing that's changing you, right? Now this could get deep, all right? When you're thinking of something, and maybe you change your perception, like you said, you were depressed, all right? You had issues, all right? And now you're no longer dealing with those issues because you've overcome them, all right? And you've overcome them through the power of your mind.
Yes.
Am I describing this correctly?
No, I'd agree with all that so far, yeah.
All right. So when your thoughts themselves, all right, what do you think your thoughts are?
What do you mean?
And I don't know if you've ever considered that. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we have thoughts, right?
Are you asking pretty much about the nature of consciousness, or the
nature of thoughts? Like how how you or me or any human being goes through this process of thinking, because what I find is that there's a distinction. Like,
Yeah.
I consider thoughts a product of nature, all right? Although they're not physical, right?
Yes.
Because you can't bottle up a thought, right? I can't say,
Yes.
this is my thought and hand it to you, right?
Yeah.
Right? So,
Well, until you turn that thought into something actionable and physical. But yeah,
yes, yes, there's an action that you may do,
yes.
all right? And your thought can lead you to action, right?
And see, check it out. This is an important point.
Is there's a certain amount of a little bit of mystery. My own thought is that your thoughts emerge from physical things in your brain, chemistry, right? And chemical reactions that take place in your brain, neurology and neurons and this sort of scientific stuff, right?
Yeah.
And your thoughts emerge from that, just like love, right? Love. Where does love come from, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it comes from your brain, but again, we can't quantify love. We can't put it in a bottle and say, here's some love, right?
Okay.
So, just wondering if you ever thought through that.
So I think thoughts and emotions, those are very good indicators that there is actually an unseen world, what some people would call a spiritual or ethereal world. That's just like a connection that I make. When you were talking, I was like, yeah, the thoughts and emotions are actually a pretty good indicator of the spiritual world for me, and
right.
That's just my thought on it.
Right. So you have a spiritual concept, and I don't have a spiritual concept, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of differ in that way,
yeah.
Right? Although we both recognize, that there's thoughts and the power of thoughts, and how these things may lead us to a better life, or more stability. And
I think that's part of the beauty of life is the difference of perception. 100 people can see the same thing and perceive it in a totally different way. And I think that's part of the beauty of life right there.
Yeah, me too. All right. See, so we agree on a lot of stuff. See, I don't really want to.
I agree with a lot of atheists on a lot of things. Like one of the few things that I disagree with atheists on is just the magical world or not. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right, like when you say magical world, my atheism is like, what? Magical? Because I don't believe in magic. All right, at least that's what I know is magic.
I'm using the word differently than like I said. Everyone's got their own perceptions of what each word means, and when I say magic, I think even the most mundane, seemingly normal thing is magic. So I'm pretty much calling everything magic. Because everything is creation.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Oh, yeah.
All right. This would be a tough question, I would think. All right. You have this concept of a creator.
Yep.
All right. Do you feel you can prove that, or do you just feel that's
not at all
belief?
Not at all. Well, check it out. This is another thing that separates me from a lot of other theists, because I'll just say it like it is, dude. There has not been one single proof for one single God within the innumerable gods in history. So like, when I do call into atheist shows, they're like, all right, motherfucker, we got you. Time to prove it. Give us some proofs. And
right.
and I'll come right out and say I don't have proofs. I have unfounded claims, which is pretty much just and you won't hear a lot of theists admit that their claims are unfounded. But it's just a theory. It's not a dogma. It's a working theory.
Right, and that, I mean, to me, your beliefs are just as valid as anybody else's. All right, so I want you to know that. I don't think your beliefs are any more outlandish than anybody else's. Probably more. I mean, as far as what you're describing, I would think your beliefs are more rational than some of the other religions.
I actually have a video where I displayed my beliefs compared to Abrahamic beliefs with Chat GPT. And Chat GPT was like, yeah, your shit's totally more rational. I got a video like that somewhere in there.
So that's interesting, because I feel the same way. But, as you probably know, that wouldn't persuade me to believe the things you're believing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, absolutely.
In my way of thinking, or my world view, as people like to talk about,
Yeah.
right? Evidence to me is not belief. All right?
Yes.
Belief
Yes.
is not evidence to me.
Yes, yeah, they're different things for sure.
Like, evidence to me has to be something demonstrable.
Yes,
Right.
Beliefs can lead to evidence, but they are not.
Oh yeah, and there's some link here and there, but the words have entirely different meaning. So, like, what you believe is valid to me, and you could believe that. But I don't tend to believe much anymore, other than things that I see as being demonstrable. So that's when I ask for evidence, I'm asking for something that can be demonstrated to be true.
Now, I am working on trying to come up with testable, testable shit. I am working on that.
Now,
Testable and falsifiable. I do think about that.
And that sort of thing is when someone like me talks about evidence, that's kind of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about, well, somebody said something, somebody believes something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's very I'm a skeptic.
Yeah,
So that's just something is like, okay, somebody believes that,
Lou, would you mind to give me your background?
I was a Christian, back religiously, for many years. So I've been an atheist probably for 10 to 12 years. I don't keep a calendar.
Yeah.
But
did you have a specific event or a succession of events that led to abandoning religion? Or a certain revelation or something?
No, it wasn't like a light bulb going off. It was about a 3-year study that I personally did, where the things I believed, one by one, I stopped believing. I just couldn't
justify them logically anymore.
Longer,
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, just one belief after another came tumbling down, and I was seeking truth. Yep. I still feel I'm seeking truth.
Yes.
All right. So I'm not, that never ends to me. That just goes on and on. I would like to seek truth till the day I die, right?
Yeah.
But and I could change my mind as well. It's not like I'm locked in and can never change. All right.
Exactly.
Because
I'm the same way too.
When you get to that point, you're closed-minded. So there's nothing, there's nowhere else to go, right?
Yeah.
So I'm open, but I'm pretty much a naturalist. So, when you talk about supernatural or things like a god of any sort, I can't find myself going there,
Yeah. Can I read you my next page of notes? And this is all about the very first question you asked me, which I was talking about the godhood in one of my videos.
Yeah. Like that was what interested me, because you talked about a godhood, and normally I'm hearing about a godhead, right?
Yeah.
Right, which is usually the Trinity, the Godhead.
Okay, so I would say the difference between a godhood and a godhead is a godhead has like one figure that's over everything. A godhood is equally shared divinity amongst all creation, is how I would define the difference.
So, if I were to ask you about yourself, all right, are you God?
I would say we are all God. We are all a quanta of the godhood. Every single person, every single I think God is living through our awareness and consciousness. So you know, that goes in line with us being perfect creations, and therefore we are all God.
Now, I got to ask you this, because the first thing that would come to my mind, and this is the same if I going down the road of Eastern mysticism, it's kind of a similar question would be, you know, if you're God, I'm God, right?
Yes.
Everybody is God in some way.
But we're a sea of gods.
Okay. But yet you believe in one God. So though God is definitely, it doesn't seem like your God can be personal, like a being. Your God isn't a being, right?
Well, I would say that my perception of God isn't anything outside of yourself.
Okay, right. Very, very Eastern type thinking.
I prefer a lot of Eastern perception to Western. I prefer the dark with light. It's not dark versus light, as what the Western theology likes to encapsulate, like the Zoroastrian vibe.
Now, another question, right? And this is for me to understand. Hope you get that. All right. Do you believe God is good or bad or both?
I was hoping we were going to get into this because I watched one of your videos. It was all about this, which I believe I've already stated that all morality is relative. So
okay, so would you go along with the the concept of like a yin and yang type of thing?
As far as what?
Like, as far as I know, like, you know, when you see the yin and yang symbol and you'll see the black and the white and they go together.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So like, I think you've talked about darkness and light, right?
Yeah.
So God would be both?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
check it out. Because I love science. When I was a kid studying science, it blew my mind when I found out that atoms were mostly empty space. Okay? It blew my mind when I found that out, and that actually made some things make sense. Because I used to feel like real empty, and I still do. I think that emptiness is built into the very core of our being through our very atomic structure. And emptiness and darkness created the light. When I say that to Christians, they're like, "Oh, you so devil," and I just want to be clear. I find Satanists, Luciferians, and Gnostics, I put them all in the same umbrella as followers of Abraham because they still base their theology off the perception of Abrahamic theology.
yeah. I mean, and I think
so I don't claim Satanist or Luciferian or Gnostic because if I did believe in evil and sin, then I would be very closely aligned with the Gnostics because the Gnostics basically believe that Yahweh is evil, you know? So if I did believe in the devil, I would absolutely be one of those people saying Yahweh, Jesus, and Allah are the devil. But I don't believe in the construct of Satan because I believe in the perfect creation. Within a perfect creation, there is no evil. And you have the whole problem of evil. The problem of evil is only a problem when you sit up there and try to say that there is an absolute morality somehow.
Right. When they talk about objective morality.
Yeah, and that's such a load of shit because, even granting that all morality is Yahweh's morality, that's still an objective morality. Or no, that's still a subjective morality.
Yeah.
If all morality is still Yahweh's, it's based off... Do what?
I did a video about that. I don't know, yesterday or day before.
Yeah, no, that's the one I watched. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a bunch of garbage. I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because
another time, whenever a Christian tells you that they have absolute morality, I would like you guys to please remind those Christians that if Yahweh's morality was absolute, he would not be breaking his own commandments.
yeah, it's ultimately the morality of Yahweh is subjective. I think we both agree
Yes.
on that.
Yes.
You know, ultimately, I mean, you could claim it's not, which Christians claim it's not.
Well, I don't think there is any objective morality. There is no such thing as objective morality. And check it out. I even say that there's no such thing as objective truth. And you know, a lot of people will agree with me on the morality part, but a lot less people will agree with me that all truth is objective. Because check it out. All morality and truth takes place in the mind, which inherently makes it relative. And truth and morality is just a human conscious perception.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite with that totally, but
but we can agree on the morality part, right?
Oh yeah, and even the other part, but you know, truth to me is something that can be proven, demonstrated. You know,
I got a great point on that. Though. Okay, truth can be proven and demonstrated, but check it out. In order for all that to be proven and demonstrated, it requires a subjective mind. So all that proving and demonstrating is based on the subjectivity of an individual.
And I can agree with that as well. But I think that there are things that are provable to a very high degree, but not perfection.
Yep.
Right? You know, like a gravity or stuff like this. I mean,
yes, sir.
You know, it's provable to a very high level. I don't really know if I believe in any absolute perfection, you know, when it comes to truth. Like, you know, we do believe in certain truth, and it works well for us, like gravity, right?
Yes, but gravity is just a theory
for us, right? But I'm not philosophically going to say that it's absolute with 100% certain at every moment and every possible.
Right there, when I said gravity is just a theory, I didn't mean that there isn't a force out there. I mean, our perception of that force is just a theory, is what I meant by that.
Universe, you know?
Yes, in every situation and circumstance. Yep, I'm with you.
So, but that's more of a philosophical question, you know. But we live every day as though it's true, you know.
Well, okay, with the morality thing, a lot of Christians will like to say that they like to multiply subjectivity. They will say rape is bad, right? Yeah, rape is bad. Everyone agrees rape is bad. That's it. It's subjective. I was like, actually, no, not everyone does agree rape is bad. Because if you go and look in the Bible, right. Yahweh's commanding his followers to rape people like a motherfucker.
Right, and you know, we agree with a lot of the criticisms of these Abrahamic religions, you know, because it's pretty obvious that, you know, rape is not always bad, even according to Yahweh. Right?
Well, yeah, even according to their holy book that they stand on, yes.
Yeah, but it's a weird thing when...
I mean, if you're asking me personally, I don't want it unless they're saying, please, Daddy, give it to me. But that's just me.
But there's this thing with Christians or religious people where, you know, they're dogmatically in a box, so they can't leave that box, right?
Yes.
So that's the problem.
Well, they have, at that point, they have relinquished their divine sovereignty unto the broken Abrahamic theology.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think we agree on a lot of things, right? And I think it's telling that you are not claiming to be able to prove, your concept of a creator.
Well,
Right.
once
Right.
again, it's just a working theory. It's a working theory. It's open to evolution based on new information and insights that come in. Absolutely.
Right. And I want to say that I appreciate that because I think you're at least being honest there.
I really hate it because I am a troll, but I don't troll about my theology. Okay, I got way too many videos on my channel. Actually, posting my theology hurts my channel because I post a handful of different subjects. If I just left my theology out, I would have way more subscribers right now. So I am absolutely not trolling about my theology. Now I will troll followers of Abraham about their theology. There is a troll element in everything I do, but I am, because I don't want to say it on your channel before, but I have been extremely disrespectful to followers of Abraham, knowing that they are a blood cult of sin worshippers, knowing that in their book it says if you don't pretty much suck our daddy dick, then we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So for me to go out loud and proud, blast it out to the world, saying "fuck all you motherfuckers," come. If you look at some of my videos, I blasted it out, left my phone number, left my location, say "come see me, motherfucker, let's talk about it."
Yeah, and I think you're being at least intellectually honest.
No, I am.
About,
and if something sounds stupid about what I'm saying, that's just because I'm stupid. It's not because I'm trying to be dishonest about it,
Yeah, I think you're seeking out a belief system that works for you. Would that be accurate?
Well, man, like in my free time, and it's like a compulsion. Like sometimes I don't even want to do it, but I just can't help it. In my free times, I am constantly hitting up Christian, Jewish, and Muslim channels, just constantly, and just as I go through and evaluate their expression, certain things will pop out, and the one true creators kind of like whispers in my mind, "That's not right. That's not right. That's not me. That's not right." And so I will go and post that. And yeah, I like raw dog and followers of Abraham.
Now, when you say like one true creator, it almost begs the question, right? So you say that to me or anybody else, the instinct is to say, well, who do you mean? What is it you mean?
Exactly. That's because followers of Abraham have been so successful in dominating the very construct of the one true creator that anytime you say that, people automatically go back to all these constructs laid down by followers of Abraham because that's what they're used to,
Yeah. Yeah. I get
real
that.
quick, I would like to define divine sovereignty as I see it, which that is just the inalienable, inseparable connection to the one true creator. Is how I would define divine sovereignty. And our divine sovereignty is constantly, those in powers are seeking through mass Stockholm syndrome, through mass psychosis, to manipulate fellow co-creators into relinquishing their divine sovereignty. Because as I said, we are all God, okay? In a sea of gods, how do you gain more power than the other God? By convincing the other God to lend you their power. And that's what followers of Abraham have done, is they have, through mass Stockholm syndrome and mass psychosis, manipulated all the co-creators around them into relinquishing their divine sovereignty unto the broken theology of Abraham.
Now, you don't deny anything like when you say creator, right? I don't think you're going to deny that you came from your mother and father, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were born naturally.
Yep.
Like any other human being, right?
Okay, well, when I say creation, when I say creation, period, because that's a trigger word too. Because once again, just like the term God, the term creation has been so monopolized by the broken theology of Abraham. So when I say creation, I don't even think that the universe was like created. I think it always was.
Right. And that's another philosophical question that people could go back and forth on. All right. I don't think, like when you say that, I don't have an opinion on that because I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, but I think at least I'm being honest. You know, I'm not just.
Hey,
I'm
it's
not
okay
just
to not
gonna
know.
pretend I know.
It's okay to not know, or even not even have a clue. You know.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm just lying to myself.
Yeah.
You know, if I know, and I really don't. It's just like it's hard for me to face myself because
Are you
I
familiar with the atheist?
someone who is telling the truth, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Are you familiar with the atheist called Kelly Loughlin over there, Truth Wanted?
No.
There's a channel called Truth Wanted, and Kelly Loughlin helps out a lot of the other big atheist channels. And but my very first call to an atheist show was to Kelly, and you know, we've had a lot of interactions and chats and stuff because I hang out in atheist chats a lot. And he asked me, I don't know what divine sovereignty is. Could you define that for me, please? And I sat there and thought about it, and I couldn't think of an acceptable answer to me to give to him at that time. That's why I wanted to go ahead and clarify it just now, like I did a few minutes ago. Because, you know, and I told him, Kelly, I'm going to have to get back to you on that because I can't come up with something that's acceptable to me right now. And he appreciated my honesty with that. And that's how I am. If I don't know something, or if I can't explain it in a way that's acceptable to me, you know, I will tell you that and then try to clarify and then come back later with it.
Well, I think that's being honest.
Yeah, and some more honesty is, I swear to God, people, I swear to fucking God, I will invent whatever mental gymnastics I have to justify my perception of a magical world. And that's something else you don't hear a lot of theists admit. Because that comes down to what I believe the basic difference between theists and atheists is I prefer to live in a magical world. So one way or another, I'm going to have my magical fucking world.
So I appreciate it. And I would do the same thing. I don't know everything. And I'll be, you know, the first one.
Well, why I like interacting with atheists is they constantly challenge everything. And I like that. A lot of theists don't like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what we share in common.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not looking to, you know, to me, like a lot of the religious people, I mean, I'll just use common street language. Talk out they ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
that's all religion, man. See, all religion is pulled out the ass, okay? And I freely admit, all my theology is pulled right out my ass, but also that's no different from every other theology, pulled right out the ass, but at least I'm honest about it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that a lot. And I don't, you know, just talking to you, I don't have any issue with what you believe in at all. You know, so I think like here, this would be a difference, I think. Like a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, religiously, they would really have a big problem with what you.
Well, the moment I say your fill in the blank name isn't the one true creator, as soon as I say that, we got a problem. Because right there in their text, it's saying anyone that says that this person isn't one true creator, you got to kill their ass. You got to kill their asses.
Yeah, and they probably take it real personal, right? You know,
and it depends on how they come at me with how I deliver that information. I can raw dog the fuck out of them, or I can give it to them gentle, like, you know. It just depends on how they come at me. The way I like to put it is, if you come at me sideways, you're gonna get came on sideways. You come at me straight, you're gonna get came on straight. You know.
So you seem like someone seeking out truth, and
absolutely,
that to me is like we have that commonality. All right. I think we're both trying to find out what is true. All right. You're coming at it from a little different angle, you know.
As we all do. You know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because every perception is unique. That's why, because my main thing I want to do with my channel is interview true believers of every theology, and I just haven't had the money for the equipment yet. For a year now, I've been having my channel up for over a year, and I thought by this time that I would have all my basic equipment interviewing people, and it's real disappointing to not be where I wanted to be at this point, you know?
It's really difficult to build a channel I mean, I'm encountering that right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Like a lot of people have this preconception that you drop a couple videos, you get thousands of subscribers, and there you go from there. Now, I mean, it's like that for some people, but for most people, it's a grind.
Yeah, I'm finding it actually really difficult.
Yeah.
Right? But I also have fun with it.
Yeah.
So it's not like work, it's kind of like
Exactly.
fun. But if I was looking at it as work, I'd say it's pretty damn hard.
If we were looking at it as work, we'd say we're a bunch of damn volunteers.
Yeah.
No most creators are pretty much volunteers because most creators are not getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun, and that's what I'm having with it, and that's why I invited you on to my channel,
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
To try
This
to
is my very
understand
first live, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wish I had more. I wish I had way more followers. I don't, but
No. I mean, I just appreciate you reaching out and trying to have an open, honest conversation about it. Because honestly, this is what I've been wanting to do the whole time. Honestly, I'm trying to interview you too as you're interviewing me. Because interviewing true believers is what I want to do anyway.
Well, I think I'm a true non-believer.
But do you believe that truly though?
I mean,
as true as you can for right now.
I'm not rigid in the way I see myself. I definitely don't believe in gods. Like I'm not gonna leave this believing in the God you do believe in. All right. Because I don't have
I think most people
thing that would persuade me,
Yeah.
All right. Because what would persuade me is what I was talking about before.
Provable, testable
evidence that is verifiable and not based on a belief. Just a raw fact type of thing. I mean
that all goes back to if there is one single proof for one single God amongst the innumerable gods, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And that's the point atheists usually like to bring up, but I like to bring that up, right out the gate.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I gotta go. I got a call from my daughter that just rang in.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm gonna go. I appreciate you coming on. I'll leave the video up. All right. And anytime, I'm going to subscribe to your channel. I know you subscribe to mine. I appreciate that.
Sir.
Anyone in the chat, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow something where people are free to express their beliefs and lack of beliefs.
Yes.
So,
Well, I like the way you're coming at this from like a neutral, open, just trying to have a conversation instead of trying to prove something. Just trying to talk and have a conversation.
I don't feel I have anything to prove.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Well, I mean, a lot of atheists do though. A lot of atheists like to prove that they're they are there to show everyone that there is no proof for God. That's like their main goal, and that's what they're trying to prove is that there is no proof for God. That's what it seems like a lot of atheist channels are all about.
I'm comfortable within myself.
Yes, sir.
So I don't feel I need to prove anything to anybody.
I hope we can be to be continued though, right? Can we continue this conversation some other time?
Yeah.
Because I had some points in here that I had wrote down I didn't get to yet.
My daughter is very religious. Just
okay.
So you know. But
can I make one quick point to people because there's just something right here really quick I want to kind of go over because the last time I called up the atheist experience, can I just get into that real quick? It'll take a couple minutes.
Go ahead.
Thanks, sir. Because I call the Godhood the fractal singularity matrix, and I didn't have my stuff written down in front of me, so when they grilled me about that, I couldn't adequately give them something. So once again, just like with Kelly Loughlin, and I came back to define it, I would like to do that for the fractal singularity matrix. Okay, so fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across all scales, examples of which being roots, lightnings, coastlines, snowflakes, mountains, Mandelbrot set. Okay, a singularity is the quality or state of being singular. A matrix is a set of conditions that provides a system in which something grows or develops. So the set of conditions is the fractal singularity. which creates the system of creation, which could be called the Godhood. The Godhood is the singular state of God, infinitely compounded to render every possibility and probability. The Godhood can also be called creation or the omniverse. You might hear me use the term omniverse. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go over that real quick, just to kind of put a pin in that for people.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that final word.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much, man.
All right, I'm gonna go because, like I said, I have to take a phone call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Lou. Please subscribe, like, comment. Have a good one, guys.
All right, peace out, homie. Enjoyed it.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, y'all. That was it. That was my debut live appearance. I was getting interviewed. I really want to be the one doing the interviews, but I'll settle for being the one being interviewed also. Tomorrow, Friday at 11 o'clock, I'm going to have my second ever live appearance as a guest on a Gnostic channel at Witch Doctor Christianity, and we're going to be talking about addiction. It's funny because Witch Doctor's getting tired of talking about religion. He's like, I want to talk about something else. I'm like, that's cool, bro. We can talk about whatever you want, homie. So I'll be posting that as well. And thank you guys for rolling with the Dark Cloud. I appreciate it. You guys step into Dane's world. Fuck. No bueno. No. What are we doing here? Here we are.